Reds fall short to the Pirates. Pitching battle by Hunter Green. Excuse me. We had a lot to talk about today, but yeah, we'll see you right after this.
Reds strike again. The comeback kids do it again. Left center. Reds win.
Reds play some great baseball against the Guardians. Then we go out to Milwaukee, and you know how Milwaukee likes to treat us. Not so nice. They make all the lucky plays against us. Looks like that we can't really hit after, but it's whatever. Looks like that Milwaukee curse kind of panned out as we went into Pittsburgh. Kind of slumped a little bit, but looking to get back right where we left off, really. Had a lot of hot bats over the week. Great pitch outings. But it really all started in that Guardian series. Lots of big hits, especially by Yeimer Candelario. Had a great day offensively. Great series, really. But, yeah, it was just – that's where it all really started, Guardian series, and then it just kind of slipped down a little slowly. But, yep, that's Yeimer Candelario, man. Great day by him. But that's all I got about that.
Yeah, the Guardian series, really good series. A lot of big hits by Candelario. All four of the runs were driven in by Candelario off of the two home runs. Diaz was a big save at the end of that game. Brewers won the first game, 6-5. A little bit scary at the later innings of the game in that game. Other than that, it was a good inning game for them. Saturday, just a rough all-around game. Sunday, a great play at the plate at the end of the game to nab Stuart Fairchild, who it was a good decision to send him, I think, but just a really good throw by the center fielder. I think it was a good decision, but Riley does not agree. But the reason I think it's a good decision is because you cannot count on the Reds to get another hit in that spot. If, I don't think you can't ever count on the Reds to get a hit, especially against the Brewers. And in the Pirates series, the Reds only scored 3 runs the whole Pirates series. Disappointing series today. Green pitched tremendously, but Nick Martinez blew it at the end in the 8th inning, home run to Ryan Reynolds. But the rest of the series, really, well, one thing I could say is really good pitching. Carson Spears gave up 4 runs in the first 2 innings in game 1, but other than that, he pitched really good 6 innings. Lodolo really good, Green really good. So, Riley, what do you have to think about those 3 series?
I mean, the Brewers series, we probably should have won the Brewers series.
Mm-hmm.
We won game 1 close. Alexis Diaz nearly blew it. It took a great throw from Will Benson. And then game 2, offense sputtered out. We only scored 1 run, and what was it? A Jamer Candelario double.
Yeah.
I mean, our whole offense can't just be Ellie De La Cruz and Jamer Candelario. The guys have got to get rolling. Offense has been cold the whole year, really. And then for game 3, I think J.R. House should not have sent Stuart Fairchild. I mean, it was a shallow hit by Santiago Espinal to shallow center. I mean, any major league center fielder is going to nab a guy going from second to home on a little blue pit to center field. So I don't really think that J.R. House should have sent Stuart Fairchild.
Yeah, that's always tough as a third base coach. Stuart Fairchild, he's quick, he can get there, but I do kind of agree. I watched it. I looked back on it after questioning if Stuart Fairchild hesitated, maybe he thought the ball was going to get caught or something was going to happen. But none of that happened. Stuart Fairchild had a great jump. He ran as fast as he could. Tried to slide to the plate. Contreras did not cover home plate. That was great play by him. I don't know why Twitter was saying he did. You know how Reds Twitter is though. But I mean, there's not much you can really do there. Great play by the center fielder, great throw. Stuart Fairchild's fast as well. It's just 50-50 shot, really. But that Pittsburgh series, Reds faced Paul Skeens, infamous Paul Skeens, as people call modern-day Nolan Ryan. I've been hearing that a lot. That's, wow.
Already.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
Reds went 18 for 93, hit 194 in this Pittsburgh series. Guy I want to highlight, Hunter Green had a great outing, 6.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 9 Ks, and 0 walks. That final game, absolute pitching masterclass by both the Pirates and the Reds. Just dueling it out, and that Brian Reynolds home run, that was a great pitch by Nick Martinez. I mean, he painted that, and then you know how that is. Whatever. But
It's baseball.
it's
Yep.
baseball. But India played great defense that series. I was very happy to see that. And then some couple of good plays in the outfield. Stuart Fairchild made a great play, and then Spencer Steer taking away a home run. That was awesome to see. Him getting more and more used to the left field.
And there was a play where McCutcheon got in the 8th inning of the Tuesday game, second game of the series. McCutcheon thought the ball was going to be landed for a
Yeah,
hit. De La Cruz ran all the way to first and just
ran
hang him
all
out
the
to
way
first.
over there. Yeah, another thing I noticed about Ellie is that how like he knows his arm is strong. So I think it was Yasmani Grandal hit a double, and Will Benson was running over to go get it, and Ellie ran all the way from shortstop all the way into right field, like just by first base, so that he would be the one to get the ball, so that he could try to can the dude at home. So he knows
Yeah.
that he's got the arm for it. I like to see that. Um, I definitely did not want to see. I think Candelario. No, I don't remember who's at first, but I wouldn't want anybody else with Ellie throwing it there. Candelario actually, he exited. I think was it the second game, or he was having some
Yeah.
hamstring issues. He slid into like third base, and then T.J. Friedel also had hamstring thing. He dove for a ball, made a great play, and then started grabbing his hamstring
Yeah,
or
he's
whatever.
been out for a couple games.
Yeah, it's not good to
Starting to
see.
get worried about that.
I did hear though that it's not looking like another IL stint for him though, so that's great to hear because this would be his third on the year, which is whew, that season recap right there. That's pretty much how it's been all year. Um, Candelario, man,
Speaking of,
if he pulled his hamstring there, I would have honestly just wanted to end the season right there. That would have mentally drained me. But what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, speaking of people coming back and injuries and suspensions, in this case, Novi Marte has gone 6 for 27 with no walks, no home runs, no extra base hits in AAA. But the Reds did say that as soon as he is eligible to come back on June 27th, when the Reds are in St. Louis, he's going to play. David Bell said there's no progression plan for him to only play part of the games or to not come up right away when he's ready. He's ready to play 9 innings right now. That's what he said right now, or the other couple days ago. So June 27th, Marte will be back.
It's good to hear. Like to see him back in the lineup. Maybe it'll be a little spark for us. Throw him in the mix. But yeah, this Pirate series, great pitching. Lodolo pitched well, and then Hunter Green pitched well. Carson Spires, we'll talk about him later of what we can expect from him. But honestly, this series was just I just forget about it. Just keep moving forward. Move forward. That's all you can do.
The Reds are now in last place in the division,
Yep.
which is they're still close, but last place is never a good feeling to have.
No. I saw today that as of right now we're projected to be 81 and 81, definition of mid, which you do not want at all. And then we had, I believe, a 27% chance to make the playoffs and a 6% chance to win the division. So there's still a
division
chance.
is almost
There's
out of
still a
out of the
chance.
picture, I'd say. But
Yeah.
the Mets have now caught up to us. The Mets have a better record than the Reds.
New York Mets. Ever since
And they were horrible.
Ever since Grimace threw out that first pitch, they've
Grimace.
literally won so many games. Like the Grimace specialty. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. Pete Alonso has been in trade talks. I also saw. They're looking to ship him. I've seen some mock trades of like the Reds going after him, but I don't know if I want all that. I'm not
I
too big
wouldn't
of
do
a
that
Pete
yet.
Alonso guy.
I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. So
All right.
really, with the Pirate series, just throw it away, move forward. Not much we can do. But on a brighter note, the Reds have the second pick in this upcoming draft. I believe the draft starts July 14th and it runs to the 16th. I'm looking
Can't
forward.
wait for that.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I'm looking forward to this draft. I know Riley is very, very passionate about this draft in particular after he wrote an email to Nick Kroll today begging him to draft Jack Caglione. Yeah, Riley's very passionate about that. So there's been.
What do you have to say about that, Riley?
Yeah, what do you got to
Sorry,
say about what was your thought process when you were emailing Nick Kroll, president of baseball operations?
What was my thought process? Like, why did I write the email?
Do you think that he's gonna what do you do if Reds draft him and then they're interviewing him and he goes, some 15-year-old just emailed me, and I really looked into him and I drafted him.
Well, the thing about that email is, the Reds definitely are not going to draft Jack Caglione now, and Nick Kroll is just going to take him off all of his draft boards because I made a typo on that
Said Harrison
email.
Bader twice. Made you look like an idiot. Hopefully Nick
Oh,
Kroll.
I was thinking of another typo,
Draft
but yeah,
Charlie
Oh
Condon.
man. Oh yeah. And then there's been some controversy right now. So Red's Twitter is really Riley is debating between. So there's Charlie Condon for the University of Georgia, great baseball player, 6'6", plays third base and outfield. Riley obviously is not like him. Um, he is a extreme power hitter. He's pretty fun to watch. But then when you go down to Florida and see Jack Caglione, he's also a great guy to watch. Hit like 9
he's a better
homers
guy to
in 9
watch.
games. Um,
Don't get Caglione.
so there's a little bit of controversy here, especially on the podcast. So I figured that we'd go ahead and I just want to hear your guys' thoughts of who would be the better option to draft. So Riley, I'll let you go ahead, start us on. What I guess what I'll say is, what value can Jack Caglione bring to the Reds organization if they were to draft him at the number 2 spot that Charlie Condon would not bring? What is better about Jack Caglione?
What's better about Jack Caglione? Everything. Um, I mean, Cags broke the single season home run record at Florida, and he set the all-time career home run record at Florida. He said it today. He broke Matt Laporta's 17-year standing record of 75 career home runs. Jack Caglione set it at 76 today with a 15-4 routing of Jackson's Kentucky. They're playing Texas A&M right now. They're going to end up losing that, last I checked. But diving into the statistics of Jack Caglione, he's hit 33 home runs in back-to-back seasons at Florida. He's never had an OPS below 850 in his career. His average has never dropped below 280, and I'd also like to say he's hitting over 400 this season alone. He doesn't just rely on pop. As you can see, the guy hits for average too. He has the longest and hardest hit home run in the StatCast era by any player, major league or college. He has double the walks and he has strikeouts this year. He's the most feared player in the country, and pitchers don't even want to pitch to this guy. He played Kentucky earlier in the season. They intentionally walked him 4 times. They didn't even want to pitch to him once. Um, I'd also like to mention he has 28 intentional walks in the season. He has the 8th most career home runs in college baseball history. He pitches too. I almost forgot to mention. He averages 10 strikeouts per 9. He has more strikeouts than hits, walks, or runs given up. He brings a fantastic glove as well. He has a 979 fielding percentage with 334 total chances at first base. A true 5-tool player. It is an absolute travesty. This man is not even in consideration for the Golden Spikes this year. Charlie Condon does not come close to Jack Caglione.
Okay, so you were saying that Caglione had like all these batting averages and stuff. How about you were saying that Caglione's batting average never dropped below 280? Condon's never dropped below 386. He's hitting 433 this year. He has 37 home runs. He has 62 home runs in his last 2 years. 556 on base this year. His fielding is better than Caglione at 986 fielding percentage in his career, and 361 chances. The only thing that I could say is bad about him is he does not steal any bases. He has 1 stolen base the last 2 years. But other than that, great player. Next thing is there's also a guy named Travis Bazana, who, if the Reds draft him, I'm calling him Travis Banana. That's his new nickname if the Reds draft him. The reason I like him so much is because he played in the Australian Baseball League. He was 10 years, like 2 years ago. And he was 10 years younger than the league's average player. He was just 18 years old. And he hit 257 with 400 on base in that league. So I think that helps him playing against older players. They're almost in their 30s, maybe even mid to upper 30s. Also, he was academic all-district this year. Travis Bazana was. He had 6 hits in the game this year. He had 3 home runs in the game this year. Caglione probably did the same thing. but
Better.
his batting average is 407. Only struck out 37 times. It
More than
has
Caglione.
76 walks this year, which is absolutely incredible to see. So do not draft Caglione. Draft Zana or Condon. Draft Charlie Condon, Nick Kroll.
Now,
So,
go
hold
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
So, you draft Charlie Condon, who plays baseball at Georgia, and remind me, how far did Georgia make it? Did they make it past the Super Regionals or not? Oh, I'd also like to say, Georgia has a lot easier schedule than what Florida had this year. Florida has, I think, the toughest baseball schedule in the conference this year. I mean, they played the best teams in the country. Georgia had a cupcake schedule, and Charlie Condon, just like Dylan Cruz, in my opinion, he's going to be nothing but a Cat X bandit.
Yeah, so you mentioned that Caglione, he can pitch, but does that mean that he's gonna be? Does that mean that he's gonna transfer the two-way role into the majors? Because when you look at Paul Skeens, obviously he didn't. He wanted to stick with just pitching. But do you think Caglione would transfer all of that over to the majors and become a two-way player?
Not necessarily. I mean, he could, but it'd be a trouble. He'd
Why
have
do you
trouble.
bring that up if it's not going to be a part of his MLB or his professional baseball career?
I didn't say it wasn't. I said it could. I said there's a chance of it.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
If Caglione throws his fastball, he sits with his fastball upper 90s, so he has the velocity for it. Has the control. I mean, he strikes out guys at a high rate. The only flaw with his pitching is that he does give up walks, but that's correctable, obviously. I mean, what what team doesn't want a lefty pitcher in their staff that throws high 90s and he can hit home runs too?
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
you haven't seen a guy like this. There's not another guy like this besides Shohei Ohtani. He's the Italian Shohei Ohtani.
You're saying he's going to be Shohei Ohtani now?
I said there's not another guy. I
There's
didn't
not
say
another
he was
guy.
going
He's
to
not
be.
going to be necessarily.
There's not another
know.
guy.
So what positions does Caglione play when he's not pitching? Really, does he DH or does he?
He's primarily a first baseman.
Okay, first base.
But he has versatility to play. He has versatility to play corner outfield positions.
Okay.
So he hasn't played corner outfield at Florida, but he has the speed. Obviously, he has the height and everything. So
yeah. So
they
when
can
you
fit him into a slot, yeah.
So Jack, then when you look at Condon, obviously he can play third and he can play outfield. Do you think that Condon's position is more flexible throughout the Reds lineup and being an everyday player than Caglione would be? For his positions, like first and outfield, corner outfield. Whose positions would you say is more flexible?
I think, well, Condon, I think, would be more valuable to the Reds just because he can play third base. You can never have too many third basemen because the Reds have drafted a bunch of third basemen, and they have a lot of them right now. But you can never have too many because Reese Hines used to be a third baseman. He sucked. Another guy, Tyler Callahan, used to be a third baseman. He was a second round pick in 2021. I'm pretty sure by the Reds. He is now nowhere to be found in the system. So you can never have too many third basemen, especially because they are mostly used for power. Third basemen are usually hitter first, and he only had 4 errors all year at the third base position, and 975 field percentage at third base is very, very good. Not all the games were at third base with a little bit of right field, mostly it seems like, but I feel like he's going to be the type of guy, if the Reds get him, that's going to be a quick, go quick through the system and probably even be on the team in 2025, maybe 2026. But I think he could be a quick rider through the system.
So, when it comes to power, obviously Condon is ridiculous when it comes to power, but then there's also Caglione is also ridiculous when it comes to power. But do you think that I guess so Caglione has set the Florida record of all-time total home runs, correct?
Right, and a career and a season,
and career and a season. So And what year is Condon in? Is he his second, third year for Georgia?
Oh, my bad. He's a junior.
Junior.
He's actually a redshirt sophomore. He's a sophomore, but he
Registered as a
redshirted his first.
sophomore. What is Caglian? I'm just asking out of curiosity.
He's a true junior. He played his freshman year.
True junior. Okay. And they're still neck to neck in Golden Spikes, obviously, but um, position wise, who?
Condon's gonna win the Golden Spikes. Caglian was not even a candidate for this
Yeah,
year.
I don't think Caglian was a. Yeah,
That's wow. That's wild. But out of all of them, who would you think is a overall better fielder and could provide more value in terms of defense?
Defense. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw Caglione make an error. I mean, he's sure-handed on the mound and he's sure-handed at first base too. I mean, he's quick too. The most underrated part of his game is his speed. I mean, he has a tall, lengthy build, but he's quick. He's got a slim 6'5" build. He could get to balls in between the four hole. I mean, there's not a thing that he can't really do in my
first
eyes.
base is a lot easier than third base when you get to the higher levels for sure. So Caglione had more errors and the worst percentage at first base than Condon did at third base. I think
By a
Condon
few
brings more
points.
value.
By a few points. They're both in the 970s, Jack. Come on.
But third base is harder than first base. You have to field the ball and throw the ball. First base, you just field the ball and touch the base.
That's
If it's so easy, then why do first basemen make errors if it's so easy in the major leagues?
I don't know.
well,
So
that's arguable.
You're a major league
That's
first baseman.
arguable. That's arguable, first and third. But obviously they both are amazing ball players, and they're obviously both going to get drafted really high. But this draft's going to be really fun to watch. It's definitely going to be interesting who the Reds draft and how they're going to move forward with them as ball players and to watch them grow. I'm excited for it, but obviously they have their differences. But yeah, it's going to be fun to
Everything
watch.
being said, if the Reds draft Caglione, I'm not going to be like super mad, but I do think they would have better options. Even if Condon goes number one, I don't think he will. He might. I don't know. Even if he goes number one, I think they should get Travis Bazana number two. If they draft Caglione, I think they would be making a mistake, but he's also a pretty good player.
Yeah,
So
it's both really great players overall. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do here in the future. Both players are great between Condon and Calgoni, but it's time for Riley's segment. Let's turn back time. Riley, what is going on this week in Reds history?
best segment of the week.
Best segment of the week right here.
Well, on June 14th, 1870, after 130 consecutive games with a loss, 81 official games, and 49 exhibitions, the Cincinnati Red Stockings would lose their first game and their first loss in 130 consecutive wins.
First of many.
They would lose to the Brooklyn Atlantics 8-7 in extra innings.
Wow. Really turning back time right there. Cincinnati Red
1870.
Stockings, 1870. But yeah, like Jack said, first of many losses. It's wow. Yeah, it's been rough over the past few years, but hopefully we're right back on track where we should be.
Yeah.
So we've seen this guy pitch, and really in this series, name's Carson Spires. He pitched some last year, but he pitched. What was it? The first game of the Pirate series.
Yeah.
Yeah, pitched in the first game of the Pirate series. But while he's been up, he's had some notable MLB performances. In his start versus Chicago, he went 5.2 innings. He gave up no runs, 7 Ks, a walk. And then his probably second most notable appearance was when he came in versus LA in relief. He pitched 3 innings, gave up 1 run, which was a run double by Freddie Freeman, arguably one of the best hitters in baseball. He struck out 3 guys, and he got the hold. Carson Spires, especially after watching him against the Cubs, It really felt good to watch him succeed. I believe 7 Ks was his most strikeouts at a major league level. In AAA, even he was really good starting. He was 3-1 with a 2.51 ERA in 9 games, 46.2 innings pitched, 49 Ks, and a 1.05 WHIP. Um, but Jack, really, like, let me ask you, I guess, in terms of like Carson Spears, what do you think he's embraced like in the challenge between jumping up and down like of AAA and then the majors, having to go long innings in the majors?
I think that he says he's so I remember this very much so because last year he got called up at towards the end of the year against the Cubs, made his first appearance there on September the 3rd. They interviewed his dad, and his dad was saying like what dads always say. Like he said he's like the most competitive player I know. He deserves to be up here. Uh, he'll make a living up here. He knows what he's doing up here. He'll figure it out pretty quickly. I just didn't think much of it because that's what every parent says. The Reds always interview their parents when they get first called up if they're in attendance, and that's what they always say pretty much, and that they're proud of their kid and stuff like that. But when I saw him pitch last year, I saw some flashes of really good stuff. He has a very good fastball. It's not
Mm-hmm.
very fast, but he locates it very well. Through his first 10 innings pitched this year, he only struck out 5 guys, which is very low. Uh, but then after that, against the Dodgers, struck out 3. His last 3 games have been tremendous. Dodgers, Castro talked about that one. Um, he came in after Montas in that game. The same against the Cubs, came after Montas in that game. And then he earned the starting job. I don't think he just got it. He earned
He
it in
earned it.
those
Yeah, definitely.
performances. And he earned it over Graham Ashcraft, which is a big thing, which is a big challenge to get to because Ashcraft's been a guy that's been up here for 3 years. Um, and the first couple innings were very shaky, but got 5 Ks, only gave up 7 hits, 1 walk, 4 runs in that game. Um, he has a very good bulldog mindset. Like he does not let anything get to his head. He understands what's in front of him. He doesn't look too far ahead. He's a lot like Graham Ashcraft from what I've seen, like his mindset. Um, and he always controls the damage. He gave up 4 runs in 2 innings. Very well could have came out in the third inning, giving up a couple hits, but he locked it back in. Only gave up a couple base runners in the last 4 innings, 2 base runners, a walk and a hit. Um, and he ended up throwing 104 pitches. The big thing, 74 strikes. 76% of his pitches were strikes. That's a very important thing. Only has 5 walks this year and 25 plus innings pitched. Um, and going back to your question, he really just embraces it, embraces everything that's thrown at him. He and he feeds off of it from what I've seen, and I think he has a very bright future for the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, enough said. I really do like his mindset. I like the bulldog mindset, especially in a pitcher. Um, I know that they have mentioned Ashcraft to have that mindset, like you said, just being a real bulldog, and that definitely makes it more fun to watch because they're usually the guys who are more fired up anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give
And then,
you
yeah,
my hitter and pitcher of the week. My pitcher, which I'm about to say here, is gonna be a huge, huge shock. Um, I don't necessarily think that anybody really expected this, but it's Nick Lodolo. Nick Lodolo for the second time in a row, I believe,
third,
or his third time in a row. This
all three
guy,
times he's done it.
this guy is amazing. Great pitcher to watch. Um, in his 2 starts, he's had a 2.07 ERA, 14 Ks, 2 wins, 13 innings pitched, and 3 walks. Just lights out baseball by Nick Lodolo. Um, however, I have seen some horrendous pictures of him balding, so he might want to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, he is balding very much.
But you might want to get that cleaned up. But besides that, do whatever you're doing because it is working and it's really fun to watch. His breaking balls are disgusting. They're swinging at everything. He is just an amazing pitcher, and he definitely should be an all-star in my opinion as of right now. Even Hunter Green, he's posting up all-star numbers right now. My hitter of the week, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Yeimer Candelario, the Candyman himself. Over this week, He's been on fire. He is 10 for 25. He's batting 400. 8 RBIs. As a player himself, he scored 4 runs, 4 extra base hits, and 3 of those being home runs, including that multi-home run night, me and Jack were actually there. Great game to be at. It was a lot of fun. Crowd was rocking, and he had a couple of nice pimp jobs, which was really cool to see. But those are my hitter and pitcher of the week. Nick Lodolo,
Yeah.
3-time champion pitcher of the week, and yeah, he's been fun.
I have a couple things to say about Candelario and Lodolo. First, for Lodolo, he has pitched absolutely tremendous, especially when you look at the last. Well, he gives up a lot of home runs. He's given up 6 home runs this year, which he plays in the Great American Ballpark. It's understandable, but a lot of them have been in opposing ballparks as well. Um, he a lot of the runs he's given up have been because of home runs. That's the only thing I could. Home runs and hit by pitches are the only two things that I can see need to be improved. He does not walk very many people at all. Very good with that. Throwing around 100 pitches to start. Another thing, Hunter Green is averaging about 110 pitches to start, which is not very common you see these days.
Nope.
He's also he's also in consideration for pitcher of the week, especially after what he did today.
Yeah.
But he's had a decent start against Milwaukee. It wasn't anything tremendous. Um, but and then for Candelario, he has had one or more hits in every single game this month, other than that last game against the Cubs in Chicago. But every other game this month, 15 plus games, he has had at least one hit. There have been 7 games where he's had 2 hits, and then 2 games where he's had 3 hits. So at the beginning of the year, I really, really, really hated Candelario.
Yeah.
His batting average was down to 159 on April 28th. But since then, I looked at the stats. He's batting 314 since April 28th, bringing his batting average up to 251, which is very impressive after that slow start.
I'd also like to add something. It's also about Heimer Candelario. In my opinion, I think he's the most impressive player on the Reds this year,
Mhm.
so far at least. Like we've all been saying, like everybody in the league's been talking about, he's been the most impressive player since June's rolled around. I mean, he's absolutely scorching. He's running away with Player of the Month. He's got 6 home runs this month, which leads the league, and he has the highest OPS on the team as well.
Yeah, June is definitely this guy's month. He's up there with Schwarber for Player of the Month, in my eyes. You know how Kyle Schwarber is in the month of June, but yeah, he's been really
One
fun
thing,
to watch in this month.
one thing I would say is he does not walk much. He
No.
has not walked at all in his last 51 at bats. It says, and he has one walk in the whole month of June. His on base is 343, but his batting average is 338. Usually, like to see a little bit of a difference between those two, but he's still very, very productive, even if he's not walking.
Yeah, yeah, he likes to swing the bat a lot. That's for sure. But Reds are off tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday as of this recording. Um, they play the Red Sox. I believe that they are in Cincinnati for this series. Yes, they are.
Yep.
Friday night, Red Sox City Connect night. For the Red Sox, Cutter Crawford is pitching against Cincinnati batters. Cincinnati is batting 333 against him because they're 1 for 3 against him. Nobody has really faced this guy. He's 3-6 on the year with a 3.54 ERA and 88 Ks. And then it looks like Andrew Abbott is going to get the start Friday night. Now, the Red Sox this year, they've had some great players, like some pretty surprising stuff this year. They have been a pretty solid team. They are coming off a series sweep, back-to-back, 3 series wins in a row, actually. They just beat the Phillies, Yankees, and swept the Blue Jays. Now they got to come to Cincinnati. But the Red Sox, yeah, they've been a really surprising team this year. A lot of great baseball players, but I think that this is a series that the Reds definitely can win. I don't necessarily expect a sweep here, nothing like that, but I think this is going to be a good series for us as well.
Yeah. The Reds need to win. So they play the Red Sox for 3, Pirates for 3, Cardinals for 4 to finish out the month. If they want to be able to get back into that playoff conversation, and not fall any farther behind in the wild card division, they definitely have to go like win 7 of these games.
Mhm.
Go 7-3, 6-4. That might be okay, but if you can go 7-3 against the Red Sox, Pirates, and Cardinals, that would be very impressive, especially since 6 of those games, the Red Sox and Pirates are at home. Um, the last few home games the Reds have had, the stadium has been packed, and they've really shown out in those home games. Uh, they went 4-2 in their last home span, and I saw somewhere that it was one of the most packed crowds for the whole Guardian series that like the Guardians and Reds series have ever been. So it was very, very packed that, and we saw that personally. Um, but the Reds definitely have to go 7-3 for me to feel confident and be okay with this 10-game stretch.
You guys know the saying history repeats itself?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it does. Just like the Reds won the series against the Red Sox in the 1975 World Series, I think they do it, and they win the series against the Red Sox.
Well, last time you said something about like the Reds sweeping the Rockies, that came true. So keep saying these bold statements.
Bold statements are Riley's personal trait, I guess. They always seem to pan out for him, but
Yeah.
yeah, like you said though about
Only
that,
on the podcast.
only on the podcast though, only on the podcast. But like you said though, how packed it was. That LA bobblehead night was absolutely insane. That was probably one of the most packed games I've ever been at. We were there probably I'd say 45, 50 minutes before first pitch, and
We
we were
tried to get there earlier. We tried to
oh
get there like
man,
an hour
we
and a
saw
half early,
yeah
but
we saw guys with
traffic.
15 LA bobbleheads in their bags, like going to sell
Yeah,
them on eBay. Like, come on, guys.
for $100 each.
Oh yeah, I looked up on eBay. I saw some for going like 200, 190 bucks. I'm like, dude, come on. Yeah, it's ridiculous how much attention that guy can draw. He's a man of many talents, but this Red Sox series is very important, big momentum booster, especially when you got to go play the Pirates again. Should be seeking revenge, definitely that series. Let's win this series. That's all I've got today. I'm your host, Cash Chandler, alongside my co-hosts, Riley Sewell and Jackson Gunnell. This is the Rally Reds podcast.
One more thing.
Oh,
One more thing.
buzzer beater.
One more
Buzzer
thing.
beater.
One more thing.
Buzzer
I'd just like to
beater.
say that Jack Caglione has tied the single season program record with 104 hits for the Florida Gators.
He can't go down without a fight. That's for sure. He can't. Riley cannot go down without a fight. He just stabbed Jackson essentially right there. Stabbed him right in the heart. If
Let me see how many hits. Let me see how many hits Condon has.
Not
100.
104.
So he's close.
Not 104.
hey, you
There's
did make
100.
you
There's
made it.
100.
Yeah, but you made a difference with the fielding percentage and it was only off by a few points. So hits by a
yeah.
few points.
Exactly.
Jack got me on that one.
Matter. Hopefully we don't have any more buzzer beaters here, but Riley had to get his last stab in. I'm your host, Cash Handler, alongside my co-host, Riley Sewell and Jackson Gunnell. This is the Rally Reds podcast. Signing off. Good night.